Well, welcome to the first ever episode of Rural Strong Live. It's great to have you with us, and what a way to kick things off here. It is my honor to welcome to the program a man who's been synonymous with modern day folk music and its convergence with art in various mediums. He has a new book out that furthers that mission. We're going to talk about that a bit later on, as well as a screenwriter for an upcoming motion picture. But first of all, Michael Johnathon, welcome in to Rural Strong Live.
It's very nice to be here. And, I didn't know this was the first episode. I feel very honored. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad the stars aligned this way to get you on here, because I have been a big fan of the work you've done for many, many years. It's awesome to get you on here. Many in our audience probably know Michael from his role as creator and host of the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, which now boasts a radio audience of more than 2 million listeners each week on 500 public stations and public television, coast to coast, Armed Forces Radio Network in 177 nations, and Nashville's legendary 650 AM WSM and the RFD TV network. We'll talk more about the growth and success of that franchise here in a bit. But before we do, Michael, I want to take us back a bit further here. You were born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in upstate New York near Beacon. Tell us a bit about what your childhood was like there and your early recollections of connecting with music and art.
You know, I grew up in a very broken family, so there was nobody musical in my family. And my dad, my real father, passed away 5 days before I was born. So I had a very strong longing for him. I used to just desperately wish I knew the sound of his voice when he called my name. I never heard him, I never met him. And that kind of led to a need for some kind of tradition or history. And so after high school, I ended up moving by happenstance to a little hamlet in Kentucky, to learn how to be a folk singer. And I went up in the hollers for 2.5 years, knocked on doors, and had hundreds of front porch hootenannies where people would teach me their old songs and stuff. And that really led me to the idea of folk music as a connection to our past as we move forward into the future.
Mm-hmm. Who were some of the early musical influences?
You know, like everybody, I was big on Bob Dylan. I used to listen to early James Taylor. I really liked, believe it or not, David Gates and Bread. David Gates is a brilliant songwriter, but also a brilliant musician. And listening to his records taught me how to properly strum a guitar. And so I would listen to things like that. Then I fell into Pink Floyd and the good stuff. And then discovered Pete Seeger. I didn't realize he was my neighbor along 90 in Beacon. And when I found that out, I fell in love with folk music, and that's what brought me into the Appalachian Mountains. I asked him, how does one become a folk singer? And he said, don't go to school. You have to live it, not learn it. The only way to learn it is if you live it. So I moved into the Appalachian Mountains to live it. I was there, for a good amount of time. But that's what you do when you're footloose, fiancé free. You do adventures like that.
So I know I've seen it said somewhere that you left New York and actually had done a stint on radio in Laredo, Texas, and it was there that you kind of had that epiphany that after hearing a Pete Seeger song that it was time to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, it's true. I was fresh out of high school, just graduated. My phone rings late at night one night, and a friend of mine says, dude, I just moved to Laredo, Texas on the Mexican border. I can get you a job at a radio station. I was like, sure. And the next day I got a little Toyota. It had 300,000 miles on it. It was an automatic with a bad starter, so I couldn't turn it off. If I turned it off, I was dead. So I drove 44 hours straight from upstate New York all the way to the Mexican border. And I got a stint at a little radio station, KVOZ, right on the Mexican border. I mean, right a stone's throw from the Rio Grande. And I was there for a few months, and I had to they gave me the midnight 6 a.m. shift. That's the shift they give you when you absolutely suck, and you're learning. So they gave me the late night shift, and about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning one day, I had to play an oldies song, and I happened to pull out Roger McGuinn and the Birds. Turn. We all know that one, right? To everything, turn. There's a season. And I noticed it was written by my neighbor. And I was like, oh, that's who Pete Seeger is. And I called him up and said, Pete, it's Michael from next door. I just realized you're Pete Seeger. I want to be a folk singer. And that's when he said, go learn it. Go to the mountains. That's where the cradle of America's folk music is. That's where he went when he was a kid. He went to the Appalachian Mountains. So that's what I did. I landed in a little town called Mousy, Kentucky. Moussie, Mousy, Kentucky. It's 2 mountains away from mini Kentucky. And it's a real place. And I learned a lot there quickly.
I mean, how was it that you landed there? I mean, did you just throw darts at the map, or what was it about Mousy, Kentucky that stood out to you?
In Whitesburg, Kentucky, there's a place called Appalachia. And it is sort of the Smithsonian of Appalachia. So I went there to just see what they had. I didn't know anything. I was a long-haired hippie kid. And it was neat. You sit down in a chair, you watch a film called Handcrafted. It's a little mountain man gets up, makes coffee in the morning, grabs an axe, goes in the woods, whacks away at a bunch of trees. And at the end of the film, he made a rocking chair. And then you look down and you realize that you're sitting in the rocking chair that you just saw him make. And one of the film directors there, his name was Jim Webb. And he said that he would, let's go to dinner. And we went down the highway and we passed a little road sign that said Mousy, Kentucky. And for some reason, it hit like a light bulb. I wanted to be Michael Johnathon, the unknown folk singer from Mousy, Kentucky. And that's what I did.
And I moved there. The rest is history, huh?
Yeah.
All these years later, it feels like the right move, huh?
It did because the hills of Appalachia are rich with music and stories. The people are beautiful and kind and generous and loyal and hurt. They're deeply hurt by what has happened to the mountains. They have a reason to be upset or angry at the rest of the country for what has happened to the mountains. I get it. As an outsider, I knew right away I needed to just shut my mouth and listen, not try to change anything, just listen. And that's what I did. And it was one of the most romantic, poetic things a young guy could do, I think, was to explore America in its most mystical, mysterious place of all, the Appalachian Mountains.
And I imagine once that happened for you, it didn't take long to start stacking up experiences and fodder for songs.
Yeah, I stumbled on my music career because there was no place to play in Appalachia. All the counties are dry. There's no clubs. There's no nothing. So there I was, a folk singer determined to have some kind of a career in a land where there was no place to play. And I took a cue from Pete Seeger, who used to play in the schools. So I went to a school and I said, hey, I want to sing about the earth and the environment to your kids. Can I do that? And they said, well, how much would you charge? And I never did a concert in my life. I didn't know what to say. So I said, well, what do you offer? He said, well, how about $2? And I was like humiliated. And I thought, look, you never did a concert before. Take the $2, put it on your resume, and move on.
Right.
So I did the concert. 800 kids come in the gymnasium. I sing my heart out. I was horrible. I was terrible. I sucked to high heaven. The principal goes, let's go to the office and settle. And I'm like, dude, keep your $2. I just want to escape and go home. And I go in his office, and he was one of these friendly fellows that had to talk, and I just wanted to get out of there. He goes, well, let's settle up, and he pulls out this big paper bag, and he plops it on the desk. And I said, well, what's that? He said, well, that's your $2 times 800. I made $1,600 in 25 minutes, being horrible. And I thought, I can make a living at this, I think. So I went to the next school. I said, I want to sing for your kids. They said, how much do you charge? I said, how much do you offer? He said, $1. I said, how many kids you got? He said, 600. Yeah, I'll do it. And then that's how I started.
You were doing that before the days of TikTok creators getting paid for being horrible, huh?
Well, it was. I just stumbled on it. I ended up doing about 4,000 concerts in 3.5 years to around 4 million kids.
Wow.
In 14 different states. Eventually, Pepsi, believe it or not, heard about what I was doing, and they said, "How about if we pay you so it goes free to schools?" And I'm like, I'm all for that. I'll do that. So I was thinking about the earth and the environment, nature, history, and everything I believe deeply in my heart. And I was able to do that as a musician in a land where there was no place to play. So that's how I got started.
And I would imagine if you could, hone your chops there with school kids, that's a tough crowd there. The rest of it probably would come fairly easily, huh?
If you can perform to 1,000 kids, you can perform to anybody. If you can hold their attention, which I was able to do, if you could hold their attention, you get them singing. I got tens of thousands of letters from these kids that went back to their rural homes and cleaned up their fields, or went down to the creek and pulled out the old tires, and got their uncles and grandpas to help them straighten the park out and stuff. It was very, very meaningful. I would not have traded that experience for the world. But yeah, you learn really quick how to perform to an audience comfortably.
Do you ever run into any of those kids today, now adults, that tell you that they saw you back in those days?
I do often, and it makes me feel old. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to meet you. I'm still in my heart. I'm still 19. Please don't remind me that I'm not.
That has to be a thrill to them to know they saw you and then see the success you've had on WoodSongs and with some of your other projects, though.
Well, and it's a thrill for me to meet them and hear their stories and their what their lives were like, how a concert affected them. I mean, as an artist, you have to ignore money in order to experience that. You have to go to the heart. What is the song for? What is the performance for? What is playing music really for? And I learned to fall in love with the front porch spirit of America. It's different from pop charts and record bins and record companies and stuff. The heart of America is its spiritual front porch, and that's what I learned to embrace and understand and become passionate about.
Well, I tell you what, before we go any further, would you share some of that music with us?
Sure. It's wintertime, and here's a song that I wrote for a performance play that I did about Henry David Thoreau called Walden. If you go to waldenplay.com, you can see the PBS production of the play. But this is a tune called Winter Song. All alone with you on a winter's evening. It's me and you, just you and me on a winter's eve. Falling winter snow, a fireplace glowing in your eyes tonight. Silent firelight, this a winter's eve. I believe in winter songs. I believe in snow falling down, January wine and firelight. But the beauty of this winter's night can't compare to the precious sight of you alone with me this winter's eve. I believe in winter songs. I believe in snow falling down, January wine and firelight. But the beauty of this winter's night can't compare to the precious sight of you alone with me this winter's eve. Falling winter snow, a fireplace glowing in your eyes.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me.
And a good song takes you there, and that song definitely takes you there.
Well, it's a song. It's a love song based on Henry David Thoreau, who my literary hero. Like many brilliant artists, he died an unknown, unappreciated guy. He was the only one of his family to go to college. He loved his brother John. They started a little school together. His brother got sick. He died. Henry was brokenhearted, and he thought a good way to stay connected to his brother, who he loved, would be to propose to his dead brother's fiancée. Which, when he proposed to Ellen Sewell, she thought that was the most ickiest thing she could imagine, and just turned him down flat, and he was humiliated. He went into the woods, and he wanted to be by himself, and Henry David Thoreau tried to cook catfish over an open fire and ended up burning down 100 acres of Walden woods. People don't realize that. He started a forest fire that burned down a big part of the woods that he's famous for. And Ralph Waldo Emerson looked at this young kid that wanted to be a writer and said, look, I'm buying the acres around Walden Pond to protect him from the axemen. Why don't you go there and get away from everyone? You're going crazy. So Thoreau went to the cabin. He, for $28, built a little cabin. He was there for 2 years, 2 months, 2 days. And I thought the most historic part of America's literary history was the final 2 days he was in that cabin, leaving with nothing. All he had was these journals, daily journals about dirt and birds and bees and bushes and tree rings and clouds and rain, and a book about nothing. And that book later became known as Walden. But at the time, he thought it was just garbage, and so did everybody else. And so this song was based on the idea of what would it have been like for Henry if Ellen Sewell had said yes. And she was with him in that cabin. And he did not die at 44 years old, alone, childless, with no wife.
And that was such an impactful story to you that you went on to write to play Walden, the ballad, if I can spit it out, of Thoreau. And that won you a 2009 John Muir Award for feature film, and just a special experience there for you.
It was. I never dreamed that it would be filmed for PBS. It airs in the springtime on PBS station. It airs on the RFD television network nationwide. But what's really important to me is that it's been registered for performance well over 9,000 times in 42 countries as a way to introduce people to Thoreau. to his work, to his writing, and Ralph Waldo Emerson at the same time. Folk singers have a very important job to look past their own I, me, my experience and make other artists part of their musical canon. And that's what I try to do. And the Walden experience is part of that.
Well, along the way, you also have had a real heart for farm families and for rural America, which is obviously important to us here at Rural Strong. A few years back, you produced a 17-song touring show called Songs of Rural America. You've been instrumental in launching hometown song farmers music chapters here around the country. What inspired that passion for rural America just outside of the experiences in Appalachia?
Well, the heart of America is in its rural families. That has become a political statement. That is not a white Caucasian world. That's a world of black folks and white folks and Latino folks and just good people that work the farms, either as field workers or the landowners, or America feeds itself on the backs of struggling farmers, which is it's crazy. And when I was in Appalachia, I really appreciated how they learned to farm ground that was shaped like this on the side of the mountains. And to see how hard they worked and how sincere they were. And I learned my appreciation of that front porch spirit. And so the concert series with the Symphony Orchestra's Songs of Rural America was a celebration of the music of America's front porch. And the Song Farmers movement was born of that same front porch spirit because, and I know you will appreciate this very much, the record industry is dead. Whatever we think it was once before, it's gone. There's not a single record store chain left in America. They're gone. People don't buy CDs anymore. There's no CD players in new cars. Computers don't have CD slots. And the only place that artists can make a living is by performing in front of people. And BMI and ASCAP, bless their hearts, they're good organizations, but they have so interfered by giving artists a chance to meet their own audience by beholding an old archaic business model that doesn't work anymore. And so I created the Song Farmers movement to give sincere, passionate musicians and artists who love music but cannot make a living at it anymore. What do you do with that heart? What do you do with that spirit? What do you do with that passion? And so that's what the Song Farmers movement is about. Right now, there's over 80 active chapters around the country. There's one starting in Ireland, one starting in Australia. So it's an international organization now, and it's growing very quickly.
What's the vision for that? Do you see anything larger coming out of that movement?
Well, if you go to songfarmers.org, click on the TV button on the menu page. And there's a documentary that has aired on TV stations around the country that introduces what the Song Farmer movement is. It introduces you to some of the Song Farmer chapter leaders from around the country. Little Tellico Plains, Tennessee, a tiny little peanut of a town. They have 200 people coming to their Song Farmer chapter gatherings. Cabot, Arkansas, before the pandemic hit, they had so many people crowding the library that they had to bring the gathering outside, and food trucks started showing up. It was like a musical convention. From Heinsberg, Vermont, there's 9 chapters in Florida right now. And the one in Florida started in a little community center in State Park, outgrew it, and when the pandemic hit, they were in a 400-seat church, packed wall to wall, people performing and listening to the music. So this is a reintroduction. Song Farmers is a reintroduction of what music is supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be for marketing and star system and selling things. It's supposed to move you. The music of the front porch is families and neighbors and hometowns and communities. And because the record business has died, this is an opportunity to restore a big part of the musical community back to what music is supposed to be. And it's being very successful at it.
And it's fun to watch because there's nothing more beautiful than just the organic outgrowth of people just loving and appreciating music.
Well, in farms for generations, the greatest ticket to the sunset in the world was the front porch. The greatest seat for the sunrise was the back porch. The farm families across America entertained themselves with fiddles and guitars and banjos, and that's the way rural America entertained itself until air conditioning and TV came along. Everybody went inside. But the front porch spirit means that you can have that rural elegance, whether you're in a third floor condo in Chicago or on a cattle farm in western Texas. You can be in a wheat field in northern Illinois. You can be in a cornfield in Ohio. It can be in a suburbia. It can be a duplex. The front porch spirit is universal, no matter where you might live. And so we're turning living rooms and folk clubs and school auditoriums and community centers and a lot of libraries into song farmer front porch events.
Well, that front porch vibe has been alive and well for a long time on WoodSongs. When did the idea for WoodSongs first begin percolating with you?
Well, this is going to sound strange. I was the opening act for Judy Collins around the country. We were playing a big, huge amphitheater in Chicago or Virginia. And 12,000 people were there. And they brought Sterno cans and cheese and champagne. It was like a Milky Way galaxy of American Express card holders. I'd never seen anything like that before. And on the way to the venue, the limo that was taking me had on public radio and was listening to Prairie Home Companion. I'd never heard it before. And a friend of mine was on the show, a guy named Sam Bush, brilliant mandolin player. And I listened to it and I was like, wouldn't it be nice to have a show kind of like that without the Garrison part? Not there's nothing wrong with Garrison. I was trying to think of something different. What if it was a show just about the music, and what if it was not star-driven? What if you just had to be good to get on it? Wouldn't that excite the music community? And so I started in a friend's recording studio in Lexington. We could seat 12 or 15 folks. They'd sit on pillows on the floor. And we had one little college station willing to air WoodSongs. We used to give them the show on a cassette tape, and they had to turn the cassette tape over to get to the second half of the show. That's how low-tech we were. And it just exploded. The Oh Brother, Where Art Thou motion picture hit, and that kind of took the lid off of this folk grassroots community. And affiliates came on board like crazy. Now there's well over 500 radio stations. And I've not changed the format at all. I haven't done anything different. It's the same thing.
When you launched the show back in '98, what goals did you have, or did you have an end game? Did you think, hey, this could be here in 5 years or 10 years, or did you just throw it out there and hope that somebody would like and appreciate it?
Well, the WoodSongs book came out in '98, and I think I started WoodSongs at the end of '99. We didn't start syndicating, sending it to stations until about 2003. I was not. It was what I did on Monday. I take WoodSongs on Monday nights because I know I'm home from the weekend, and every musician in the world I know is either heading home or they're sitting in a motel room in Peoria waiting for Wednesday. And they would kill for something to do on a Monday. And so a lot of very known artists would come to Lexington and do the show with us. And my plan was to become a Prairie Home Companion type show. But I did not want to go commercial, so I refused syndication, and I refused going to PRI or American Public Media, Westwood One and stuff. We sent it to the stations on our own. We did it by ourselves. And that gave me total autonomy. I didn't know it was going to go 500 stations, but I knew that we were going to make an impact in the music world. I wanted WoodSongs to be a gateway between the artists and the audience in a world that I could see where that gate was starting to close as record stores, chains were closing, record labels were shutting down, artists were starting to struggle, streaming was becoming the thing, people stopped buying CDs, and I knew WoodSongs would become an important gateway between the artist and the audience because it's very hard for artists to meet their audience now. That's why shows like yours are so important.
I tell you what, over the course of the show's run, you've had the likes of Ralph Stanley, Norah Jones, Tommy Emmanuel, Bela Fleck, and Riders in the Sky. When you look back on that list of talent that you brought to your audience, how humbling is it to have had the support of such legendary musicians to kind of lend credence to what you were doing?
WoodSongs is specifically for the unknown artists. I say it every show. You don't have to be famous to be on WoodSongs. You just have to be good.
Right.
But when artists of the caliber of Bela Fleck with 19 Grammy Awards comes on WoodSongs 4 times, when Judy Collins comes on 5 times, when Tommy Emmanuel has been on 9 times, what it does is validates the stage and it makes unknown artists want to be on it even more. Because they're heroes there. Roger McGuinn has been on WoodSongs 3 times. He did our 900th broadcast. Riders in the Sky have been on several times. They did our 1000th broadcast. When WoodSongs picked up again this past August, we had Ron Vincent and the Rage, Blues Master Bobby Rush, Victor Wooten from the Flecktones was on, Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother. This last week we had Darren and Brooke Aldridge, the king and queen of bluegrass right now. And they've become our friends. They become people we hang out with. And music is a wonderful community. WoodSongs is based on love because nobody gets paid. And so it does tend to open your heart and your spirit more to what we're there really for.
Well, it has to be to you just as rewarding to be able to introduce the world to some of that talent that's been flying under the radar. And I hope everybody will go to woodsongs.com in the history section. About 4 videos down, there is a video of Sam Bush sharing the stage with a 10-year-old Sierra Hull.
Yeah.
And that's pretty surreal.
She was sitting in the audience. Sam Bush was on the show. She was sitting in the audience. She was hugging her mandolin. She wanted to sign it. And I was like, come on up and meet Sam. We'll do it during the show. Come on up and meet Sam. And she played note for note, toe to toe with Sam Bush, 10 years old. You could see Sam Bush's face. He's like, what the heck? She's 10. And now she's got this amazing global career. WoodSongs had a big part of introducing Sierra. Chris Steele and Nick Creek. WoodSongs was one of the very first shows they did. He was 15, 16 years old at the time. Just a wonder kid. Just sweet as he could be. And just an amazing musician. And so, Chris has been on WoodSongs, several times as well.
Well, you're talking about doing 44 episodes a year here. When you talk about doing a weekly show, speaking from experience, it's a grind when you talk about lining up guests and arranging, to stage the performances, gathering content, producing, distributing, everything that goes into it. Were there any times where you hit obstacles along the way and just thought about walking away from it?
Walking away from it, no. Being tired, yes. You come in from a 4 or 5 day concert run and then have to do Monday.
Yeah.
It can be a little tiring. What's nice about WoodSongs is that we do it in a theater in front of a live audience. Normally there'd be 400 or 500 people in the theater. And so that any artist gets filled with energy when the audience is there. And it's always good, and it's always fun. What I especially like is the fact that WoodSongs is a completely top to bottom volunteer run. There's no financial transactions going on, and yet we have always had the artists show up. We've always had the crew show up. We've always had the theater. We've always had hotel rooms to put them in. WoodSongs goes free to public radio, free to public television, free to RFD, free to the American Forces Radio Network, and now it's available in schools nationwide with lesson plans for free. And so that kind of energy supersedes any perceived problem that we think we might have.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that educational mission of WoodSongs. You talk about creating video and streaming classroom projects there. You have a real heart for making sure that this art is passed along to future generations.
Well, who deserves a seat on America's front porch more than its own children, right? And so years ago, I decided that on every WoodSongs broadcast, we would feature a child from somewhere in America. They get to come on WoodSongs. They sing one song in the presence of seasoned touring artists. And invariably, the WoodSongs Kids segment is not only the highest rated portion of the show, it's also the most explosive, because these kids are incredible. And so the very natural next step would be, can we make WoodSongs available to kids in schools? We're on public television. Every public television station is required by law to have an educational outreach person. So we had a built-in way to approach the schools through our PBS affiliates. And we have a team of teachers headed up by April Duckworth that writes lesson plans, middle, high, college level lesson plans. If you want to introduce your kids to the banjo, we've got Bailiff Fleck and Abigail Washburn. You want to introduce them to the guitar? Who better than Tom Emanuel? You want to introduce them to the fiddle? Mark O'Connor is one of the world's greatest fiddlers. Learn from him. Traditional American jazz, Preservation Hall Jazz Band. So the lesson plans attached to the show, plus the kids on the show. What is happening now is WoodSongs Kids is being spun off as its own TV series. So think of it as Mr. Rogers meets the Grand Ole Opry.
I like that.
And so that's going to happen in 2022.
And you heard it here. And to that end, the educational end, we want to mention something special that you're doing for musicians who lost instruments in the devastating tornadoes that ravaged Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri last weekend. Tell us a bit about the program that you've been working this week to put together.
We're you and I are talking this evening. This all happened literally last night. I watched with horror the same thing that everybody else saw. The devastation in Mayfield and Dawson Springs and Bowling Green and even close to Lexington. Danville, Kentucky, the airport got clobbered and obliterated by the tornado. So it came very close to home. And Arkansas, I talked to our affiliate in Jonesboro, Arkansas. They had devastation there. Missouri, Northern Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois is where the Amazon warehouse collapsed. In this huge path of the tornadoes are hundreds and hundreds of musicians that lost their instruments. And what does every artist, every songwriter, every musician do during a time of darkness, a time of hurt, a time of stress? They turn to their music. They turn to their instrument. They turn to the comfort of the spirit of the front porch. But these musicians don't have that. So I'm galvanizing the WoodSongs and Song Farmers community, and we're reaching out to the world. We've organized a way for people to donate the instruments they're not using, send them to us, and we are going to farm them out to the musicians in Western Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, to get these musicians instruments again. What especially got hammered with the school, they lost all their band instruments. I mean, they're gone. The school's gone. The instruments are gone. The musicians are being displaced. The musicians that are there don't have instruments to play. So if you go to woodsongs.com/tornado, woodsongs.com/tornado, you'll see all the information right there. And people are becoming extremely generous. While you and I are talking, instruments are getting donated. So thank you, everybody.
That's a beautiful thing, coming up, playing music and knowing how much that means. That's excellent. So make sure you go check out woodsongs.com. And if you're in a position to be able to help, please do help. I'd say before we go any further here, we've been talking a bit here. So I want to share another song here. We've got a video queued up for the song Blues Tonight. Tell us a bit about this song.
It's part of an album called The Painter, which is a tribute to Vincent van Gogh. And Blues Tonight is pretty much about what we were just talking about. Sometimes the world can seem dark and hurtful, but life goes on. And you just realize that the problems are as temporary as the good times. So just hang in there. It'll be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Well, without further ado, here it is, Blues Tonight on Rural Strong Live.
Winter skies and evening songs, everything is beautiful and nothing is wrong, but that's alright. I got the blues tonight. Midnight comes on my windowsill. My baby is gone and I'm lonesome still, that's alright. I got the blues tonight. I hear the moan of a midnight train. Can I ride that dream holding you again? So I say a prayer, but nobody's there, that's alright. I just got the blues tonight. I say a prayer on the midnight train. Can I ride that dream holding you again? So I say a prayer, but nobody's there, but that's alright. I got the blues tonight. It's alright. I just got the blues tonight.
More great stuff there from our special guest tonight, Michael Johnathon. And Michael, after completing your 1000th show in 2019, we talked about Riders in the Sky being a part of that one. The Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and Museum gave WoodSongs a permanent display there. What was that experience like, seeing all that hard work culminating in that kind of lasting recognition?
It's wonderful to get awards. It's wonderful to get recognition, but when your home region does it, that feels especially good. Because it's very hard. I never perform in Lexington. Nobody's going to spend $20 on Friday night to see you in concert when you're going to be in aisle 4 of Kroger's the next morning. They're just not going to do it. So I never perform around here. I only do WoodSongs. And so when the home region, the home state, in this case, the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, there's so many great artists that are already there that are friends or heroes of mine, like Gene Ritchie, Homer Ledford, so many others. To be part of that community is a big honor.
Well, we talk about the show being well beyond the borders of Kentucky here. It's not only grown throughout the United States, but also has drawn international acclaim. On a video on the website, you talk about taking the show and the iconic backdrop sign to Dublin, Ireland for tapings in front of nearly 2,000 people there. What was it like looking over that crowd and knowing that you had gone from entertaining a live audience of 12 to 15 and a radio audience of Georgetown, Kentucky, and then one day you're packing a theater in Ireland?
Well, first of all, I couldn't believe we were in Ireland. When we went there, we were supposed to be in a 400-seat theater, which was fine. I figured, okay, well, we can if 300 people show up in a 400-seat theater, it's not going to look bad on TV. And we had Dublin City FM as our affiliate in Dublin, which is where we went. Then the theater had to remodel, so we lost the theater a month out. And they're like, well, don't worry about it. We have another place for you to be. Oh, really? Where's that? National Convention Center. Okay, how many does it seat? 2,100. I'm like, what? You put those same 300 people in a 2,000-seat hall, it's going to look terrible. And so here's Saturday night came, and lo and behold, the place pretty much sold out. There was right about 2,000 people there to see WoodSongs that night. I was overwhelmed. Standing on that stage in another nation, 2,000 people were out there, and it was brilliant. It was just absolutely brilliant.
Well, I mentioned the iconic stage sign. What started out as kind of a catchy backdrop logo has become so much more. Tell us about that original sign. Who created it, and what did it mean to the history of the show?
When we moved out of the little recording studio into the library theater, and then eventually the Kentucky Theater, which was a 300-seat room, it had a big stage. And I was like, if we do this, we need to have a visual brand that's going to be so impressive. People are always going to remember it. So I made the WoodSongs sign 14 feet wide and 5 feet high. It's just a big color, three-dimensional sign that hangs on wires. It's not a banner. It's not a cheap piece of cloth. It's a three-dimensional WoodSongs sign. And it turned out to be the smart thing because it's like a multi-million-dollar global ad campaign. Every video, every photograph, every artist that takes a picture of themselves, every fan that posts something on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, the WoodSongs sign is part of that picture. You know it's WoodSong. And it's one of the best things we ever did because people all over the world recognize that logo now. And it cost us nothing. So why not?
And one of the neat things I saw there is that also had crew members and guests of the show sign it over the years.
Yeah, we retired the original WoodSongs sign for the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. And we had the entire WoodSongs crew autograph the WoodSongs sign. I get a lot of credit for WoodSongs, and I appreciate that somebody has to stand in front. But you have to remember that I represent the very hard, sincere work of one of the most amazing volunteer media crews in the history of broadcasting. I mean the TV directors, the camera ops, the audio engineers, the stage hands, the audience crew, backstage, everybody is total volunteer. The artists that come on the show are not paid a penny. I simply speak on behalf of the incredible community that proves that love is the greatest transaction of the arts. And so, in deference to them, I have to say how amazing this whole experience was.
Well, I can tell you, as a crew of one myself here, I stand in awe of that, because I know that's
I applaud you for your work.
That's not an easy thing to do. Something else I feel very strongly about is when you do a show, the theme song should have some sort of special meaning behind it. And I understand your theme song, Callista's Jam, is steeped in sentimentality. Tell us a bit about that song and how it came to be.
Callista's Jam was written about a beautiful bluegrass Appalachian fellow named Homer Ledger. Matter of fact, this is his bolo. This is his bolo. His wife's name is Callista. And I was over there for lunch one day, and here's this wife in complete, total love and admiration of her husband, who's a humble little instrument maker, mandolin playing, bluegrass guy. And she makes him a homemade blackberry jam and biscuits for lunch every day. Every day. Homemade blackberry jam and homemade biscuits every day. And so I wrote Callista's Jam in honor of their relationship and how beautiful I thought that was, how much I wanted that myself someday. And we made that theme song. I played the guitar, Homer Ledford is playing the mandolin, J.D. Crowe, the great J.D. Crowe, is playing banjo on it.
And Homer's been called home, but that he's immortalized in that.
Yeah, his wife is 91. Just talked to her the other day. And she's still, full of love and praise for Homer. And he was one of the kindest, most gentlest souls I ever met. So I wanted him to stay present. And that's why I wear his bolo every day.
Man, I love that. And I tell you what, we would be remiss if we didn't also talk about your involvement with the Armed Forces Network and give a salute to the brave men and women who serve and sacrifice to protect our freedom.
Well, we're on American Forces Radio Network, which puts WoodSongs on the air on two different channels on the radio in 177 nations. From South Korea to Kuwait, all the nations in between. It's on every military base in the world, every U.S. naval ship in the world, every Coast Guard vessel sailing in North America. And I make it a point on every single broadcast to say hello to the men and women that are serving, that are listening in on our American Forces Radio Network. We do it on the air and give the audience a chance to give their appreciation.
So a big salute to everyone who is serving here, because those sacrifices don't go unnoticed.
No, it's a dangerous world right now too, isn't it? And more than ever, we need that spirit of the front porch to calm things down. And I do it not as a political statement, not as a military statement. It's a human statement. These people are out there, they're in danger, they're doing a job that they probably don't want to be there doing. They're away from home. We represent home to them. Why not at least say hello? Why not recognize that they're there and that we care about them?
Absolutely. I know you don't do any of this for the accolades, but tell me about what you were feeling when you were informed that Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and the Kentucky Arts Council were going to present you with the 2020 Milner Award for the Arts.
Well, you've done your homework. We're very proud of Governor Beshear, not because he gave me the award, but if you have been following the news this past weekend, Kentucky being hammered by the tornadoes, politics aside, I don't care what party you're on, this is a good man. This is a good man who cares very deeply about his home state. Having said that, the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet called me up and said, Michael, Governor Beshear wants to present you with the Milner Award. Now, this is the most prestigious award that the state of Kentucky gives to any artist. This is for people like Wendell Berry and and James Still and these great legendary Gene Ritchie, these great legendary artists. And I said, think about it for 2 weeks. Call me back if you still feel you want to do that. But J.D. Crowe is up the road. He deserves the Milner Award. Not me. So, give yourself another 2 weeks. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, they called up and said, no, we're going to do this. So I said, all right, if you thought about it, sure. But I don't feel like I'm the guy that should have won that. J.D. Crowe, the McLean Family Band, there's so many artists of Kentucky that have been at it longer than I. It's a thing that I have trouble even considering, but it looks beautiful on my mantle.
Well, and I would add it's well deserved. So congratulations on those accolades. We talk so much about WoodSongs and about Song Farmer, but that's far from your only creative pursuit. We talked earlier about being a screenwriter here, and I wanted to touch on that a bit here. Tell us about the Caney Creek motion picture.
When I landed in Mousy, Kentucky, one of the first stories I heard was the story of Alice Lloyd, a Boston woman who got spinal meningitis and stroke, who worked at the Boston Globe. Her doctor said she had 6 months to live, maybe longer if she moved south to a warmer climate. Her church had a mission home in Knott County, Kentucky. They said you can move there for free. It's warmer in Kentucky than Boston. But, the missionaries got run out with shotguns. The locals did not like them. Just know that. But Alice Lloyd decided to move there with her old mother. They moved there in November of 1915. In February, a mountain man named Michael Johnathon had a dream that this foreign woman would teach his children to read and make them better than the hogs in his hog lot. He viewed the people of the mountains as good people, but they were trapped in the mountains. They were like the hogs. They born, they breed, they die, they trapped in this barnyard, this mountain barnyard. And he wanted something better for his kids. And so he woke up from his dream in the middle of the night, crossed 2 mountains in a snowstorm, collapses in her door, begs her to come to Caney Creek to teach his children, and says, if you do, I will give you my land as payment, which to a mountain man is everything. She outlived the doctor, she outlived World War II. In the 1950s, they're getting ready to file bankruptcy. By happenstance, Ralph Edwards in Los Angeles, who had a TV show on NBC called This Is Your Life, heard about her. Actually, he read about her in Reader's Digest magazine. They tricked her to come on his show. And if you go to CaneyCreekMovie.com, Caney with a C, CaneyCreekMovie.com, there's a video clip there of little Alice Lloyd on Ralph Edwards' This Is Your Life NBC broadcast in 1955. And at the end of the show, for the first time in TV history, he turns to the audience and says, send her $1, help her out, don't let her go bankrupt, send her $1. And within 3 days, they had almost a $500,000 bills sent. And it's an amazing true story. And so I wrote a screenplay for it. It's been optioned for production. This past week, producers came in from California looking at location shots, and they visited Alice Lloyd College, which is the campus. The campus is the property of, used to be the property of Michael Johnathon. It still is. And so this is a project very close to me. I never wrote a screenplay before. I was like, how hard would it be to write a movie? We're about to find out.
Well, we'll have to have you back on for a status report on that one.
Yeah. No, it's happening. It's happening. It's moving forward.
Well, in the midst of all that, we have to talk about the new book, WoodSongs 5, a folk singer's compendium and Van Gogh reader. The digital version released October 21st, and the hard copy will be released January 11th, bundled with your The Painter CD. Here's a copy of it right here, so you know what that thing looks like. Yeah. Where'd the whole Van Gogh idea come from?
Well, I always loved my heroes are Henry David Thoreau, Pete Seeger, Vincent Van Gogh. And when the pandemic hit, I was out of work. I couldn't go anywhere. Everybody's home, and I wanted to do something productive. So I started oil painting, and my oil paintings sold. I was shocked. We sold so many paintings so fast. We had enough money to finance a new album. And I was like, well, since Van Gogh inspired paintings, I should do an album about Van Gogh. And so I wrote a song called The Painter. And I said, well, that's a good first song. I should end it with Don McLean's Starry, Starry Night. And then what do you put in between that? So I wrote the songs for the in-between part of the album. And when that was done, I was like, this is part of the WoodSongs book series. Let me write a book in honor of not just Van Gogh, but of every artist that struggled and beat their head against the wall and were never appreciated until after they were gone. I mean, I'll give you an example. Vincent van Gogh's famous painting, The Starry Night. The beautiful Starry Night on coffee cups and billboards and TV commercials and T-shirts. It's everywhere. He tried to give that painting away three times. And was refused each time because the recipient of the gift didn't think it was very good. They did not want to put it on their wall. They told him no. That painting today is insured for over $1 billion. And they said no, they didn't think it was very good. Rembrandt, the wonderful master artist and painter, died a pauper. Buried in an unknown grave. There's so many of these artists that struggle that we need to learn from, because there's so many artists struggling now. And so that's what WoodSongs 5 is about. With the Painter album, it's very much in the spirit of Vincent van Gogh, but it's all art, all artists, all dreamers and creators.
Well, at the end of the day here, at the end of this journey, what do you hope that Michael Johnathon will be remembered for?
Playing in tune. Being happy with the music, never giving up, and celebrating the spirit of America's front porch as musically as possible.
Well, I tell you what, you continue to take this amazing artistic legacy and build upon it. And if folks want to follow along the journey and keep tabs on all things WoodSongs and all things Michael Johnathon, where can they go to do that?
You can go to michaeljonathon.com. If you spell my name right, you'll get there. City of Lexington gave me a star for the sidewalk of Main Street. And Michael and Jonathan are both misspelled in concrete. Spell my name right, and you'll get to my website. michaeljonathon.com. WoodSongs.com is another easy way.
And we'll scroll it across the bottom of the screen. I believe we got it right there. So hopefully, if you push pause there, you'll catch it. We'll also have it here archived, so you can go check.
You're a good man.
Well, I tell you what, before we get out of here tonight, will you play one more for us?
Sure. Here's a song I was thinking about while we were talking about the rural communities of America and Appalachia, how people felt about their land and their homes. I remember the year when my granddaddy died, gonna rise again. And we dug his grave on a mountainside, gonna rise again. I was too young to understand the way he felt all about the land, but I could read his history in his hand. He said, gonna rise again. And there's corn in the crib and apples in the bin, gonna rise again. Hay in the loft and cotton in the gin, gonna rise again. There's ham in the smokehouse, hogs in the trough. You know he never had a lot, but work like a mule for the little that he got is gone. Go to rise again. Speak a little now. So I'm sitting on a ridge above this farm now gone, and I'm thinking of my people that have moved on, gone. Gonna rise again. You're like a tree that grows from the mountain ground. The storms of life cut you down, but the new wood springs from the roots underground, gone. Gonna rise again. I said the new wood springs from the roots underground, gone. Gonna rise again.
What a great way to close things out, Michael. Thank you so much.
Celebrating rural America, I applaud what you're doing, the theme of your show, and I'm very grateful that you invited me on. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We want to invite you to come back anytime you want to share your latest projects with us, man. You've always got a home here.
Well, maybe I'll interview you next time.
Well, it'd probably be a short interview, but yeah.
I doubt it. Thank you, and thank you everybody watching. Appreciate you spending the time with us.
Absolutely. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We want to invite you to join us back here again tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, when my special guest is going to be Country Financial's Bart Hester, who is going to talk about legacy planning for your farm or ranch. And you know, 640 million acres of farmland is expected to change hands over the next 2 decades. That's a huge generational shift. And Bart is going to give us some tips for planning a smooth transition. So hope you come back and join us for that again, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tomorrow morning. So come and be a part of that. Also, the Tractors and Troubadours podcast is off and running, and we would love for you to join us each week as we bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot button industry issues, educational topics, some outdoor lifestyle features, and the best in traditional country music, and even a little folk and bluegrass from time to time. Tractors and Troubadours can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Deezer, Audible, Odyssey, and YouTube. We'd be honored if you'd subscribe and give us a rating and leave a comment so we can propel this content to reach as many listeners as possible. We'd also be honored if you pay a visit to the brand new website, ruralstrongmedia.com. It still has that new website smell. I mean, the thing is awesome here. ruralstrongmedia.com. It features the Tractors and Troubadours podcast, as well as our live streams, educational blogs, and a 24/7 internet radio station, Rural Strong Radio, which features traditional country music and bluegrass, and even some Michael Johnathon music here. So make sure you go and check that out again at Rural Strong Radio on the new ruralstrongmedia.com. And again, we want to thank all of our sponsors tonight, Concept Agritech, Gateway Seed, and our friend Mark Ryder at GoatLifeClothing.com. Well, friends and neighbors, the clock on the wall tells us it's time to get on out of here. So until tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, come back. Let's meet up here. And guess what? Bring along a friend.